Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thank
Hello.
you. Got it.
Good. So we're going to get started in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. How's
Yeah.
everyone doing?
Okay.
Good.
Yes.
Hi, Miss
Good.
Gonzalez. I saw you this morning.
I apologize. I couldn't talk for long.
Oh, no worries. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, Ms. Lisette.
Do you guys hear a delay?
Yes.
Let me see something. Uh, hmm.
What?
Okay, we're about to get started.
Can you turn your volume up a little bit because it's really low?
Can you hear me now?
Not much. I mean, I could hear you, but it's just not loud out. I mean, I can hear you. No worries.
Lisette, did you still hear the echo?
I can.
Let me reach out for Dennis.
Okay. Okay, so why you all hear an echo is because we are presenting to all of the elementary school teachers, and because the Zoom only has a maximum. I don't now. Oh yeah, I do. So what we decided was to stream it live to make sure that everyone is able to view this training. Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
What is it, because there's so many of us?
Okay, hello. So we were able to fix everything. Okay. So hi, let me see. We have 1 minute. Actually, we can get started. So good afternoon. What ended up happening was, since all of the elementary school teachers were joining our session, we had to not only, we had to live stream because we have a group of excess of 300 participants, and YouTube will allow anyone to actually join. So good afternoon. So my name is Lisette Coons. Some of you have met me, some of you have not. I am the supervisor of English Language Arts World Language. And this session I will be co-presenting, but it will be primarily Kelly Criquet. And originally I was going to do small group, but what we noticed was that so many of the students were not able to continue on with at least a level A of the oral reading records, that the QPA, the Quick Phonics Assessment, is regularly being administered. So we decided that, okay, since we have all of this data and it cannot be stored in Benchmark, the online system, that I work with Kelly to recreate the tool so that that data can be monitored in Performance Matters. So that is how we came up with this training. I know a lot of the principals, a lot of the teachers had a question about the Quick Phonics Assessment, and should every teacher administer the Quick Phonics Assessment? The Quick Phonics Assessment is only administered when a student scores a frustration level for level A. So if a teacher is able to successfully administer the oral reading records, they don't have to administer the Quick Phonics Assessment. That is only for students that do not have a reading level. So I just wanted to make sure that I reiterated that, because some are nervous and saying, okay, Lisette, I administer the oral reading records. Do I have to reassess my students? And the answer is no. You're only administering the Quick Phonics Assessment if your students scored a level on level A, a frustration level. But if a student is an independent level A, an instructional level A, the student has a reading level. But in the event that that happens, that's when you go to the Quick Phonics Assessment. So the structure of the session, the 90-minute session, first, what Kelly is going to do is go over the actual tool that was created, really walk you through how do you navigate Performance Matters, how do you enter the data, and just all that the website offers as far as with the progress monitoring. And then once we're finished, I know in the description, I asked for you to bring your data, your students' QPA data, so that after Kelly finishes presenting, you'll have an opportunity. Can everyone please mute themselves? Thank you. That you'll have an opportunity to enter that data in Performance Matters. So when you're doing that, I sent an email last night. What we decided is the last hour would be designated. We will actually, Kelly and I will stay on this Zoom link. And if you have any questions, you'll join us. And then you'll be able to have an opportunity to either share with us your questions, your comments. We can provide clarity. And then once your answers have been, once your questions have been answered, then you can resume in entering the data in Performance Matters. So Kelly, are you ready?
I am. I am. Can everyone see the screen that I am sharing? It is right now the district's webpage. Do you see that? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So, good afternoon. I have the distinct pleasure of demonstrating for you how teachers can log into Performance Matters and record their student scores on the Quick Phonics Assessment, the QPA. First, I want to advise everyone, if you have another computer and can follow along with me, you might want to do that. If not, it's fine, but I just thought that was a good idea. So first, we log into Powerschool. Performance Matters and Powerschool use the same security. Teachers access Performance Matters through their Powerschool accounts. So you can go to Powerschool however you go there. This is how I go there. And this is how I log in. And since you all are K-5 teachers, Performance Matters, oh, it took me all the way in. Performance Matters is not entirely new to you, as you used Performance Matters with your students for elementary math assessments last spring. So once you log into Powerschool or Power Teacher, at the top right, we're looking for this icon. They call it the drawer. It's basically a way for you to connect to the linked applications, which Performance Matters is one. So when you click on that, you get the list of the linked applications. Performance Matters is the second in that group. When you click on it, it takes you right into Performance Matters. Anyone who has not signed into Performance Matters ever will get a large gray screen with a lot of writing on it. It's the user agreement screen. You have to agree to those terms, and then it'll bring you to your dashboard page. Since I'm a district user, my dashboard page looks different. So I'm going to impersonate a teacher. So thank you, Ms. Bernstein. Kindergarten or first grade teacher at Gregory School. And so this is what your teacher dashboard would look like when you log in. So to get to the QPA, we'll go to the top left to the word tests. Click that. Choose the test center from the drop down. And then what will appear for you are all of the tests that have been assigned to the students who you teach. You will see QPA Form A, Form B, and Form C, because I have already assigned all of those tests to all of the students in grades K through 5. We are going to, and I just want to bring your attention to this over here, limit to open test window. You see when you come to the test center, it defaults to being checked. For this purpose, it's fine because I already released this test and it is during the testing window. But if you're ever here for another assessment and you don't see it here, it might be useful to uncheck that. Moving on. QPA Form A. We are going to record all of the QPA data in Form A. Regardless of what form you used, we're using Form A for the QPAs that were administered in the month of September. So this is the one that we want. We go over here to the 3 dots. Click, choose online scoring. Now what you see, okay, again, online scoring defaults to showing you only the students who are finished. None of your students are finished, so we need to uncheck that in order for you to see your students. It gives you 2 ways to do it. I imagine the way that you would most likely do it is to choose a particular student and enter the scores for all of the questions for that student. This is how you go about doing that.
Hi, Kelly. They're requesting for you to slow down. They must be writing.
Oh, did we send the paper
But they're
version?
just requesting for you to just slow down. Thank you.
Okay,
I didn't get the paper.
Lizette sent it.
I did. I'll resend it.
Thank you.
Okay. And so you have your QPA documents here in front of you for this student. And over here is the question. The number that you're writing in is the number of the letters of the alphabet that this student recognized. Let's say it was 26. To get to the next question, we have to put the mouse there and click. Then to get over here, to enter the answer, you have to put the mouse there and click. You can't tab. You can tab once you're over here, but you can't tab to get to it. How many letters of the alphabet? I guess this is the lowercase one. Did the student recognize? We'll say 26. How many consonants did the student? 21. How many vowels? 5. And then we click to the next question. And as you see, it's scoring it for you based on all of it being correct. They get 1 point. And so for each question, you enter, these were 10 each. Right? Next question, we'll just say this is 9. Say this is 9 too. And see, you'll notice for the ones that I put 9, question 6 and 7, the students' points is still 0, because in order to get the points, they would have had to get a 10. I'll keep going. Right, and so you're just recording here what you have observed with the students for the QPA. I forget how many this was. I want to say it was 12.
Can everyone please mute their phones or their devices? Thank you.
It's not 12. 10. It must be 10. Okay. It's 10 too. Okay. So, and that is what you would do for one student. To move to the next student, right, here are the students in Miss Bernstein's class, but of course, for you, it would be the students who you teach. And you can choose, you don't have to do it in order, you can do it in whatever order you would like to do. And that is it. That is really the process of entering your QPA data that you've already collected for your students. I want to show you, once it's done, we'll look at student item analysis. And we only have the one student whose scores I just entered there. We're choosing the QPA form, not A. To choose B. So this is my guy, and these are the data. And what you see is, so see the points here? I entered the 26. So most of yours are going to be 0 because the students are not going to get a perfect score for all of these. But if you hover over that number, you can see what the number was for them. Right, so for each question, you'll see it. And so after you've done it for your whole class, you'll have a row for each student, and you'll have the points that the students earned, and you'll be able to hover to see what the actual number of letters was. If you need to know that, I imagine you do. So I just wanted to make sure you knew how to see it. I see Miss and Jerry has her hand up. Lisette.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm a first grade teacher from Columbus. I had a quick question. So a large group of my students only could respond to the first, in a form A, the number 1, like just to identify the letters. and did not even go past 1 or 2, section 1 or section 2. So when I'm inputting the data, after the section 1 and section 2, can I just not go over and keep putting 0, 0, 0, 0 and move on to the next one student, or do I have to put in 0 for every one?
No, you don't. If you
Okay.
didn't record anything for them, you should not, you don't have to record anything in those answers. You see this student here? It stopped. I stopped entering when I did.
Okay, okay,
You don't have to.
okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can you tell me how you got the questions to pop up? Like for like the first one, how many letters they knew? Like when I'm in that screen, mine is not, I selected the student, but it's not asked. All I got is student response did not answer, but I don't have any of the questions underneath it.
You are here on this screen.
I'm in Form A.
Uh-huh. Online scoring.
Yep,
So the test title is there.
correct,
Show only finished students is unchecked.
correct.
Okay, and so if you click in the first box, do you not have students there? When you-
I have students, okay?
Okay. And so the first one automatically pops up, but in order to move to the next one,
No, but how did you get the letter names to pop up on the right-hand side?
the letter names do not pop up on here. This is just a place to record your,
No, but like you say, it says letter names, how many letters of the alphabet did the student recognize? How did you get that to pop up? That's not popping up on mine.
can you scroll, can you choose choose a different question number, like 1-5?
Okay,
And do you see the language?
no.
What's your name?
Carrie Epiphan?
Epiphan. Okay. I have to look into yours because it's not working as it should. And you have students, you're a regular homeroom
Yeah,
teacher?
and my students are showing, but I just don't see like where I input it.
So do you have, is your screen split in half with white and then the gray?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
mine's white and blue.
So this is what I want, because when Kelly and I planned this, what we did is we have office hours. So I sent everything because this is more for Kelly to present to everyone how to navigate the website. But if you have any questions directly for us, I want you to jump back on here when it's your designated school. Because I know some are asking for Kelly for you to go back to the beginning to really just navigate.
do it
help them
again.
navigate. You see that? But as far as with some people are asking, okay, I don't have access, I don't have a class list. I ask that you jump on, because I sent last night wherever I put everyone in cohorts, because we'll be able to actually identify, do you have Powerschool access? But it's,
That's like my question too. I've never heard of the QPA before.
Thank you, because I'm like, what the?
okay, go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, so I'm planning to just go back to the beginning and walk through it one more time.
Mhm.
And then we'll answer the questions that have come up in the individual breakout sessions.
Yes. So I just want to be clear. Some are asking, the quick phonics assessment is only administered when a student does not have a reading level, right? So the oral reading records, if a teacher, so I'm Miss Coons, I'm administering the oral reading records to Kelly. So she's in front of me. And once I get to level A, her frustrational level is level A. So I can't go to level B. It's not her instructional, it's not her independent. She's frustrated at level A. So then I still want to know how I can instruct or meet the needs of my student. that's when I would administer the quick phonics assessment to see if she can identify letters, if she can identify sounds, if she can group those sounds together to read words. So that's just giving you additional data. So some are asking, do I have to administer the QPA for all of your students? You don't if they have an actual reading level. This is only an assessment, a quick assessment to be able to identify the needs of the students before the readers that are not able to have an actual reading level. Will we be able to administer? QPA is in Spanish online. Okay, you ready, Kelly?
Yes. So everybody can still see my screen, right? Okay. So we get to Performance Matters where we are entering this data through Powerschool. So go to Powerschool, however you normally go to it. If you have a link stored, I always go to the website. Because I didn't log in, it took me right back in. Once you're in, look for this icon. It should be at the top right of your either Powerschool or Power Teacher page. They call it the drawer. When you click it, Performance Matters, which is a linked application, is the second one. Click Performance Matters and it'll take you right in. Because you already entered your credentials into Powerschool, you're in. I'm still impersonating a teacher, so it brings you to the teacher dashboard. And any regular homeroom teacher has this dashboard in Performance Matters. For the task at hand of entering the QPA data, the first step is to go up to the left to the tests area. We're going to test center. When we click test center, you're going to see eventually the tests that have been assigned to the students that you're responsible for. So I have already assigned the QPAs, all three forms, but we're using QPA Form A. Regardless of what form you administered, we're using QPA Form A to record the scores, the responses for the students who you've administered it to in September. So we want QPA Form A. We need to click these three dots at the far right. When we click those, you get a drop-down list and we want to choose online scoring. When you choose that, it brings you to the screen where you can enter the scores for your students for that test. We already chose the test. Now we need to uncheck this show only finished students. We want to see all the students. So we have to uncheck that. And then let's say you only administered the QPA to 5 of the students in your class. Use this drop down arrow to select the student. And when you do, it takes you to the first item, which is the capital letters of the alphabet. And you record here how many that particular student recognized. To get to the next question, you have to click. You have to bring your mouse, your cursor over there, click. And go back over to the box where you're going to record the students' responses to the lowercase alphabet. Then it asks about consonants and vowels. We go to the next question.
I have a
I guess
quick comment that might be helpful.
Sure. I don't know who that was that wanted to make a comment that would be helpful. But we can't hear you.
Sorry, I hit my mute. Sorry, I hit my mute button again.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a quick comment that may be helpful to the lady that couldn't see the drop downs earlier, in terms of the visual layout of the screen. So ours doesn't, mine at least, doesn't look exactly like yours, Kelly. It only shows me 1.1, that row. I actually have to put my cursor inside of that box and then use my little mouse wheel to see the others. So all of them there are not there. It doesn't, in other words, you have to click inside of the 1-1 where there's, you know, and then you roll that. If you have a mouse wheel or if you're using your trackpad, then it shows them all inside of that little box there. It doesn't look exactly like yours when you first log into that screen. At least mine doesn't, but I did find it. I was fooling around with it. Sorry about that interruption.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Okay, just
Kelly, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, I muted myself while listening to your colleague. So you definitely have to put your mouse or cursor on the question and put your mouse in the box in order to type the responses. And then you have to use your cursor to advance to the next question. Put it back in the box. You can tab here, but to advance to the next question, you have to use your cursor and mouse. And that's pretty much the whole process. We're at 2:26 in terms of time. So do you want to now release everybody and invite back those who you designated, Lisette?
Yes. So right now we have approximately 300 participants, and then we have additional administrators and teachers streaming live. So what I would ask for you to do is to take the information that Kelly just provided, use your device in all of the data that has been collected over the last 2 weeks when you administer the QPA. So some are asking about the QPA. So this has nothing to do with the oral reading records. That data was already stored on the online system. This was created because if you look online, there is not a progress monitoring tool for the quick phonics assessment. That's why I worked with Kelly to create this. So there are 2 platforms that you'll be using. You're continuing on with Benchmark, but you're using Performance Matters so that we can actually see how the students progress from the first administering, the second moving forward. So as many are asking for an attendance sheet, the mere fact that you register and that you are online, we see that you attended. So you don't need an attendance sheet, because the system is actually identifying that you're joining. So if you have, Ms. Bashar, I see, you said you weren't able to register. Okay, so all of those will be able to identify. I just want us to have an opportunity to answer any of the questions. So the link was actually sent and the schedule was sent. Please stay on if you are one of the schools that we are actually supporting for the first 20 minutes. But if you're not, this is time for independent work for you to be taking that data and entering that into the system.
Forgive me, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask, and I know everyone needs to go, but my time is until later and I can't enter it. Could you please tell us again what to do if your student does not answer any questions? Do we have to enter did not answer for every item for that student?
No, you're starting with the very first. So skill set 1 is identifying letters. Yes. If you couldn't get past or the student couldn't get past identifying letters to identifying the sounds, you wouldn't go to each skill set and put 0, 0. Because remember, this is really a data or a progress monitoring for you. So when it's time for you to group your students, this is information that's going to equip you to group your students. So when you wouldn't have to actually put 0s for all of the skill sets, just for the the last one that they're actually to be able to complete.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can I ask one more
Can I make-
question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can
How do
I respond to Ms. Clayton? Because she's talking about how to get to and score the QPA in Spanish. You don't need to score it in Spanish, do you?
You don't.
Right, so the space, the spots where we have for them to record the answers, you'd go to the same place to score
We
it.
do. So there are two ways, as far as with the tool, the QPA, you can find it online, but also, so someone asked where can they find the QPA in Spanish? You would go to the website. So the same link that you would find the QPA in English, it's available in Spanish as well. So the oral reading records, the quick phonics assessment, both of those tools are all available in Spanish as well.
Can I ask a question? So how do you save the information? Do you just go on to the next student, or is there a way to save it?
Yes, you just go on to the next student.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. I am a bilingual teacher, and I gave my students the English, which is basically, it starts off with the letter sounds. And if they didn't know the letter sounds, I didn't go and give it to them in Spanish. Are we required to give it to them in Spanish and English, or just one language?
It's just one language. So I met with Miss Morales, and she gave the direction as far as with, yet you're administering the tool. She spoke about the WIDA, and if they're scoring higher than 2.4, you would actually administer it in their dominant language. So if your students are able, the Spanish, the L's, if they're able to, their dominant language is English, you would administer in English. But if the students are struggling with English and their dominant language is Spanish, you would administer in Spanish, but you wouldn't do both.
All right, Miss. Question, please. For the quick phonics assessment, do we do it with the book? Because there's a book that came with the kit that we had from last time. Should we do it there, or is it online where we can access it and give it to the children? Where?
Mm-hmm. So it's just like the oral reading records. It's available both.
Okay.
So the online suite is available if you wanted to do it electronically for the oral reading records, and then also paper and pencil. But the quick phonics assessment, you would have to print it out. So it's not available online for you to administer it. That's why we created it in Performance Matters.
Oh, okay. So it's in Performance Matters. That's where I can locate that, right? That's what you're saying?
The actual tool, actual tool is the benchmark website. So Performance Matters, this was created to store the data.
Okay.
The actual tool is on the website.
Okay, what I mean is, there's a kit that had all the quick phonics assessment in it. And for me, for my children, I use that. I use the pencil to, call them one by one. And did it with pencil. I did skill set 1, 2, 3. I didn't get to 4, 5, and 6, and so on. So do I transfer that into Performance Matters, or do I have to go back to Performance Matters to do it again?
Oh no, you would. Oh no. You wouldn't re-administer the tool. You would take that data and enter it in Performance Matters. So this session is not for you to re-administer. It's to really to guide you in how to store the data that you've already administered in the system.
Okay,
so you wouldn't re-administer the tool. This is just a platform that you would use to store the data.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So everyone who's on, if you have an understanding of how to navigate the website, you wouldn't have to remain, because this would be an independent section. This right here is just for the teachers that need assistance as far as with the website or have any questions. Everyone else, you can jump off. And this is why in the description, it asks for you to first have a tablet or some type of device to input or enter your data.
I have a question, the same question that Ms. Gillens asked. When I scored the test.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I heard a echo. When I scored the test as the student was only able to complete portions not one or not two. So when I scored the test, it doesn't say that I scored it. It's just saying 0.
Well, as far as in Performance Matters?
Yes, it's going to say 0 because they didn't get a 26 out of 26. Anything less than 26 is going to be 0 for the system. But if you go to reports and do student item analysis, you'll see the ones that you scored. Do you see that, Ms. Morales?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello.
When you do student item analysis, I think we have to, oh shoot.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Hold on 1 second.
Just 1 second, Ms.
asking a question. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure Morales sees the data for the ones who she entered. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm sorry, I don't see it still.
Choose a test at the top of the student item analysis. Choose the test QPA Form A. And then you should see at the bottom, whichever students you scored, you should see their data.
Under student item analysis?
Yes. We went reports, then student item analysis. You'll get a screen. In the center of the screen, it says test title. You have to choose QPA Form A because that's the test that you scored. And then you should see your students at the bottom.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Ms. Spencer.
I had already started to input my data, and in looking at the manual, students had to score at least 70% in each skill set. And so one of the particular students I scored, and I'm looking at skill set 3, he, in the nonsense words, he scored a 9. And in the sentences task B, he scored an 18. But when I input it, it still gives him a score of 0. And he should, because it wasn't perfect score, he should have a score of 1.
So that's my fault. I didn't know that the score should be, the points should be anything less than perfect. So everything is set to perfect. But
okay,
it doesn't matter that much because the key for you is that student item analysis report where you see exactly how they responded in each one.
Okay, all right.
In the future ones, what I'll do is make it what it should be so that it's 1 point, but you don't really care about the points. What you care about is the data, I think, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. I see 5 hands up. Anna Martinez, Gloria Hernandez, Tracy Wright, Shannon Burton, and Yvette Bashara. So we'll start with Anna Martinez.
Okay. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Hi, I'm a bilingual second grade teacher, and I have a lot of newcomers that I need to do the phonics in Spanish. I do understand the part where that is, and I do have the packet where I have the forms, Form A. However, where would I enter the information for the Spanish speaking ones? Because the information on Performance Matter does not match the skills on the Spanish form.
It does not?
No, because they're 2 different languages. Like the vowel consonant and consonant vowel consonant pattern, that's not the way that we do it in Spanish. So the scoring would not match. Like if I use the Spanish form to score, if I use
But
the
then I need
Spanish
to create
form,
another form. That's what you're saying. I need to create a separate form for QPA in Spanish because you're not assessing their English reading capacity. You're
exactly,
assessing their Spanish.
exactly. Like for example, the scoring is this, I see that is a lot of it is the same, like 10, 10, 10, 10. But for example, skill set 6 is in English is silent E, but in Spanish is combination of words that have L and R, like GR, BL, but in Spanish, PR. So it's not the same skill, even though the scoring
Is the same.
is the same. So if
Okay.
I put in the scoring in Spanish
Mhm.
into the form that you have, if they are doing the L and R skill, if I put it in the English one, it's going to show as if they can do the silent E.
Okay.
So then I can
Okay, Kelly.
create. What'd you say, Lisette?
No, so that's something that, that's an easy fix. It's just having a different form for Spanish. But as
Okay.
far as with the amount, the questions would just be different.
Yes, the skill set.
Because
will be
the
different.
skill set would be different. Okay.
Okay.
Someone's asking, even if the score is perfect, 26 out of 26, it's registering as a 0.
For question 1? That doesn't seem right.
Thank
Questions
Thank
1
you.
and 2, the first 1 and 2 are both 26, gets you the 1 point. And then for the consonants, it's 21, for the vowels, it's 5. And then for all the rest of them, it's 10. Okay, I still have Gloria Hernandez, and then I got a couple more hands.
Okay, Gloria.
Hello, hi, it's Gloria
Hi,
Hernandez.
how
from
are you?
Wilson. I'm doing well. In the beginning in September, I had a hard time locating QPA. I finally found it, but instead of administering the QPA, I did the Wilson reading system. So some of the things do match, but I mean, my student didn't go that far. I have 2 students that are frustrating at level A. Could I still use my data from Wilson reading system, or do you prefer me to do the QPA?
Well,
form?
since we're sticking with benchmark, because the idea really was to have a system or an assessment that really has fidelity, meaning that we use it in September and then we monitor their growth using that same assessment. And that's why we went with, I mean, there were other options for quick phonics or spelling or phonemic awareness, but we chose benchmark because we really wanted the entire system and the entire program to be implemented with fidelity.
Okay.
So I would recommend that it would be QPA because we're sticking within benchmark.
Okay, that'll be no problem to do, but maybe in the future, or maybe one-on-one, if someone can assist me with in regards to, because I don't have the QPA kit.
Well, send me an email, Gloria, because you don't need the kit. It's online, because if you have the kit or if you have it online, it's paper and pencil anyway.
Right, I understand. It's just easier. I mean, I need to sit with someone to show me, because online I see so many. Do I do the QP? There's QPA. There's 3 different levels, not levels, books. So I don't know which one I'm looking at. You understand?
A, B, and C, the skill sets are the same. It's just 3 separate forms, but I'll write your name down and then you're at Wilson still, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be at your school on Monday from 11 to 1:30. So I'll give myself a note and then we'll meet on Monday, Gloria.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Tracy.
Yes, hi, hello. My name is Tracy Wright. I'm from Parker School. I have an autism class. One of my students, she will not respond verbally. However, I've observed her saying the alphabet, their sounds, in and out of sequence. So can I mark that way? Because she will not respond because she's selective mute to my questions when I'm trying to assess her.
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Because ultimately, what I really want to emphasize is this tool is really to help you, to equip you meet the needs, better equip you to meet the needs of the students. So whether you do it where I walked into a class where there was an assistant and then there was a teacher. That was one case. And then some cases, the teacher isn't administering. It's actually the student teacher. So whether Tracy does it that way, as long as she's gathering or that you are gathering data to really help you group your students. So it's either way. So Glory, we said Monday. Okay, Shannon Burton.
Hi.
Hi.
I just put in all of my data and then I went to look at where I can see it again to make sure it was all there. I think you said to go to reports and then student analysis. And then when I went to student analysis, no test came up, but now I just can't get back into Performance Matters at all. It's kicked me out. It's telling me I have a bad gateway.
Yeah, so I will say I'm grateful that we were able to make it through the demonstration because I did get an email earlier today that there have been some issues with connectivity to Performance Matters. So I am not surprised that you're having some difficulty, that it, you know, it's not responding like it normally would. But when
but usually that's what it should be. Student analysis, and then it should be under test, right?
Student item analysis, yes, and you want to choose QPA Form A under test name or.
Okay, so I'll check that again whenever it returns. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. Then we had Yvette Bashara.
Hi, Ms. Coons.
Hello, Ms. Bashara.
Hello. Let me start my video. My question is, I have a couple of questions. How do you get to the QPA on Benchmark Universe?
I'm so glad. Okay, so I'm on here now. That's what I was just doing. So you go to Clever, you click on Benchmark.
Yeah, maybe I could do it.
Right?
Yes.
I may not.
Okay, so log in.
Click on Benchmark.
Mm-hmm. Click on Benchmark.
Curriculum resources.
No, so Benchmark Phonics and Word Study. So it's not in Reader's Workshop. So click on Benchmark Phonics and Word Study. Where curriculum resources. So not Reader's Workshop, but next to it. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then click on Assessments.
Resources.
Mm-hmm. Scroll down, Kelly. You see where Assessments, Resources, Assessments.
I'm seeing a lot of resources. I haven't.
So on your left, where it says Resources, so not the book.
Here.
Yes, Assessments.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, on the left. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, Ms. Bashar, do you see it?
Yeah, so which one do I use? Because it looks like there's a lot there.
So we're not doing the phonological awareness. We're not doing spelling. We're only doing the quick phonics assessment. So Form A, B, and C, they're all the same skill sets. It's just different words and letters.
So do you start with A or does it?
It would be up to you. It's all the same skills. So like A, B, they're different forms, but they're the skills, every skill set is the same.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. And my second question is recording the QPA scores, those, where do you go for that? Is that Powerschool, did you say?
It's Performance Matters. And yes,
Performance
you get
Matters.
to it through Powerschool. So you log into Powerschool.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Ms. Craig.
right? You're looking for this icon called little drawer. Click that, choose Performance Matters. When you go in, it'll take you to your dashboard. My dashboard looks different, so I'm going to impersonate a teacher so it looks like yours. Oh, how about I do you? Have you been in, no, you've not.
Well,
You've never logged in before. So when you log in, the first thing you're going to see is an agreement screen, but you have to click I agree to the terms. Once you do that, it'll bring you to this screen. Then you go to test center. We're going to choose QPA Form A. 3 dots all the way to the right. Online scoring. And then your students are going to come up with each of the questions on the QPA.
so QPA Form A
Yes.
has to do with what you assess the student on under benchmark. That's the form you chose, so that automatically pops up in the Performance Matters section.
You're selecting it in the Performance Matters.
Okay.
Whatever form you use, you're
Yeah.
using QPA Form A for any assessments that you did in September.
Okay, and also with the, thank you for that, I appreciate that. ESL students, you said if they had less than or equal to 2.4?
On the WIDA. All of that direction comes from Ms. Morales. I know she sent it to us, and when we met.
Yes.
So all of that specifically, so I'm just reiterating what Ms. Morales shared about ESL and bilingual students.
Then they get the Spanish version of the QPA.
Their dominant language. So you wouldn't re-administer the assessment in both languages.
So how does that work if they do not have a teacher who speaks the same language as the student?
So what I'll do is I'll contact Mr. Morales. I really want, anytime there's a question about bilingual ESL, I don't want to give an answer without working with her. So what I'll do, Ms. Bashar, is I'll speak to Ms. Morales about the question, and then
Okay.
I'll have her get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Quick question, what if we assess the child and the child doesn't read or write in any language or can determine a letter? I have a child who's 10 years old and doesn't know the difference between a Z and an A.
So I'll say this, and I said this, I was in a school last week, and a 4th grade teacher had a lot of concerns. And what I said was, we couldn't have predicted where some of our students are. So we do have 5th graders struggling with identifying letters. We have 3rd graders struggling. And I spoke to them, I said, as long as we're exposing, so of course we have to teach the curriculum. Of course we have to expose them to mentor texts, right, on their grade level. However, if you have students that are struggling with identifying letters, I mean, that's the target of your small group.
Not letters, everything. Never been to school in his life.
But see, then that would be your targeted skill.
So in that case, I did the ORR test for him. I read it for him in Spanish, but he couldn't read it for himself. He was able to capture some of the details and answer some of the questions where I typed it for him. So when you see him in my ORR, you don't see him as frustrational at the A level. You see him at the A level. And it's because I read it for him and he's the one that gave me the answer. So in reality, is that other test, the QPA, the one that I should give him if he can't read?
Well, see, that's why we asked for, so some have reached out and said, I teach 5th grade, I shouldn't come. But you are an example of why 5th grade teachers should be here. Because, I mean, I keep saying, and I think that, you know, we have in our minds that, okay, we know that they were home and we know that we were virtual for a year and a half, pretty much. But if you have a 5th grade, you said your fifth grade
I have three of
student.
them this way. I have one of them that speaks 3 languages, can't read in any of the 3, can't identify letters in any of the 3. I have the other one that's, it's incredible and frustrating.
It is, but what I do want to say is that it is overwhelming. I mean, I'm in schools literally every day, and I keep hearing the same thing. I have friends that are all throughout the country, and they're saying the same thing. But what I said last week, and I'll continue to say, is we have to expose them to grade level text, right? We have to teach the curriculum. However, we also have to meet the needs of our tier 2 and tier 3 students, right? So if you have 3 students, that is your small group. So so I'm taking away from the fact that they're 5th grade students. So let's go on the skill. What are they in need of? So although, I mean, ORR, yes. So a 5th grader, one would assume that you would be able to administer the oral reading records. But if you have students, which we all do, whether they're 5th or 3rd grade, you would have to administer the QPA. And remember, this is just one data point. So the expectation is not for these students to remain where they are right now, but that's where we are, right? So literally, last year they were remote. The year before, they only had until March, and then we left. But the prior year, so what, 2nd graders, so 3rd, 4th, yeah, 2nd grade was the last grade that your students completely had. So we have to really take that into consideration, knowing that that is our reality. So to answer your question, yes, you would administer the QPA, but give yourself grace, right? Because you're frustrated, I understand, but also give the students grace, knowing that that's where they are.
Okay.
That's where they are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Ms. Utah. She had her hand up, but we didn't get to her.
Well, I know Ms. Hernandez. So just quickly, I saw that someone asked, where can they locate the student forms? So Kelly mirrored her screen, and she was able to identify, to show you forms A, B, and C. That same page, you can click on the spelling cards or the phonics cards. They're task cards. So you see where the question is, how many letters of the alphabet? Right. There's an actual form. Oh, Gloria, there you are. So can you click on the quick phonics assessment task cards?
Here.
Right there, yes. Click on that. So if you administered, click on that. So that's, can you click on that, Kelly?
I did not even see that part. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Kelly, can you click on that one? So you're going to need, scroll all the way down. So that's skill set 1. Keep going down. Skill set 2, skills. So all of this skill set, that's what you'll print out for your students when you're administering.
Thank you. That's what I needed to find. I didn't even see it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, does anyone else? So quickly, if you're on the call and you don't have any questions, you're administering the tool and you're just entering the data, you can jump on. You don't have to stay on. I know some raised their hands. Gloria.
We got 3 people with hands up. Ms. Lisette and Ms. Bernstein.
Okay, most of my question was answered. Thank you very much. Can you just go over how to find the QPA form that you're looking at? I'm trying to find it on my end and I'm having difficulty. I wrote everything down, but it looked like I must have missed one step. So I can't find this page that you're showing right now.
So can you jump off and then we can navigate, we can help you.
Okay. So did you go to Clever?
You're going to go on Clever, right? You go to the district's website, you go on Clever. You click on Benchmark Education. I'm glad, Kelly. Not you, okay, Jackson.
So this is where?
So you're clicking on Benchmark Phonics and Word Study. And then you scroll down to Assessments.
Over here. Resources,
assessments, and then it's there. So you're going to need, what I recommend that printing out the quick phonics assessment summary. So that really, it's very comprehensive to tell all of the skills and what to do next, to print out the actual scoring form, right? The score sheet. And then also the task cards. Those are the cards that you'll need for each of the skill sets for forms A, B, and C.
Task card. This is what we just looked at,
That's what we just looked at.
the task cards.
So these are the cards that I mean, there are multiple ways of doing it. You can print out all of them for each student. You can laminate them so that they can be durable. I mean, it's up to you, but that's how you navigate the website to get all that you'll need to administer the tool.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anyone have any more questions?
We had Miss Lisette, Toro Mays, and Miss Bernstein.
Hi, Miss Toro Mays.
Hello, Ms. Coons. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing well, thanks. I'm having an issue. I go into the test center and I see the tests, but I have no students listed. There's nothing there.
There are no students listed.
Yeah, I went to the Performance Matters and I saw the grid with my students' names. Then I went up to the test center to choose a test. I chose test form A, and then I can't do anything else. I go to actions and nothing's happening. It's like has a circle with a line right across it.
Can't hear me. Hi, Miss Toro Mays. I'm talking back to you, but you couldn't hear me because I'm muted. So where is the circle with the line for you?
It's where it says actions all the way over on the right. Where it has the test, I'm at the test center and it has QPA form B, form A, and form C. Right. So I clicked on form A, and then all the way over to the right, it says
I'm going to
action.
impersonate you.
Excuse me?
I'm going to impersonate you, so I see exactly what you see. Okay, so now I'm in as you. And now you see, so you're using this, you click over here.
Right?
Yep.
That does not happen.
Scoring.
Nope, that doesn't happen.
And then
Under actions, nothing. When I click on it, when I cover over it, with my pointer, it has a circle with a line over it, like, with like no crossing sign or no stop sign. Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a line straight across it. I can't click anything.
Are you using a desktop machine? Are you using a desktop, a laptop, or a tablet? What are you using?
I'm using a Mac. Well, I'm on my desktop for you guys, but I'm on my Mac to try to follow on with you guys, with everyone.
Excuse me, Ms. Tormes?
Yes.
This is Ms. Hernandez. The same thing, I was doing the same thing and nothing would happen. And I unclick the box and then I can get in.
You have to unclick finish.
Okay, now it does it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then we had.
So then from there, what do I do?
Well, from there, you see your students now.
No, I see only that I can release online paper. Which one do I hit?
Oh, choose online scoring. I'm sorry, online scoring, the box.
Okay.
Right, you want to choose the last one, online scoring.
Okay, got that. And
then it'll take you to that test for your students. You have to uncheck this box.
Wait a minute. I can't see which box I'm unchecking because.
Oh, it says show only finished students at the top in bold. And there's a blue check mark next to it.
Yes.
You want to uncheck that because none of your students have taken it.
Okay, now I see the list of students. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, now I see it.
All right, good deal. Then we
All
have
right,
Miss
thank you
Bernstein.
so much.
And I thought I saw Miss Marcucci. So
Okay.
Bernstein. I sent asked to unmute.
So Ms. Martinez asked if a student knows no letters, you wouldn't go any further. For example, if I'll go back to level A, if a student is at their frustrational level A, we wouldn't continue administering the ORR. So that's when you would stop, right? So you would gather the data, and then that would inform your small group. So you wouldn't go to sounds if a child's not able to identify letters. So I think
all I would do is just, for the first question, how many alphabet letters they know, I would just put in 0 and stop.
you would. So that's for the form. But remember, the key is we have a platform to store the data, but ultimately you're taking this to drive instruction. So that's going to be stored, but with you on your person, that's when you're forming your small group. So I know one of the teachers that she had, there were 3 students that were struggling. So yes, so we already know that there are 5th graders that are struggling. So in your case, you have students that are not able to identify letters. You would store the data in Performance Matters, but that ultimately, you would take that data and it would equip you to form your groups for Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction.
All right, thanks.
Mueller asked, how do you see the report in Performance Matters?
I was just sending her a response to go to reports and select student item analysis. That's how she would see it. I sent it to her privately just now. So Ms. Bernstein?
Hi. So just to clarify what the instructions were, is to use this data for students who are testing like below the oral reading records, correct?
Yes.
So my question is, in terms of data keeping, if a student is past, I'm going to say task 3, like 1-3, they're reading. So in terms of looking at data, I'm finding it not really helpful, because I think what would be more helpful is for 1 and 2 only, and what letters that they know and what sounds that they know. Because if they're at all on task 1-3, they are reading an oral reading record. So it's kind of a lot of do not answer in terms of, like, I'm a data person. I like to look at charts and things like that. So I just was going to bring that to your attention. Maybe you weren't aware that if they're in a task 3, then they're definitely going to be at least an A in oral reading.
So in that case, you wouldn't be administering the quick phonics assessment.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. But my point
is, go ahead.
Everybody who would need to be entered the data in here, for you're looking at data records, anybody who would need to have their data isn't going to hit a 1-3. So I'm thinking it might be more beneficial to have what letters and what sounds that they know in terms of data and record keeping, rather than they just know 5 letters. Does that make sense?
It does. As far
just
as
a point of information, you can. I just think for data keeping, no one is going to be past that level if they're below the oral reading records,
because skill set 3 is the nonsense words where they're able to sound out the beginning, middle, and end sound. So they'll be able to read. So they'll be at least a level, because the key really, I think the key that what we're trying to get everyone to understand is this is just a tool to monitor where the students are. So ultimately the teacher is going to use that data, that information to really drive instruction. So if a student, like you said, if a student is at skill set 3, so 1, of course, just identifying the letters and then the sound. But once you get to skill sets 3 and 4, then a teacher would administer the oral reading records, level A.
Correct. Right.
Yes.
So then, right. Okay. I was just bringing it to your attention. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Bernstein. We have about 10 minutes. Does anyone else? Oh, Michelle said both questions have been answered.
Ms. Coons, this is Ms. Gomez. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very good. I've noticed that I'm asking the same questions as 2 other previous people were for the Spanish, the ERF. Where do we put the data?
Okay, so Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that
I
was
have to create a QPA Form A in Spanish. It's very similar, but not exactly the same. So I'll create that and release it to all of the students as I did with all of the others, and then you'll have a place to record it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'll do it before the end of the day.
Okay, thank you, honey.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes. Hi. I have a question. I'm putting on the form where it says letter names, how many letters of the alphabet did the students recognize? I know the score stays as 0, but I'm just inputting. So say, for instance, if a student knows 2, then I would just put 2 in that little comment box.
Yes.
Okay. And then, but the score will stay 0 unless it's 26.
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was doing it correctly. And then once it's done, it automatically saves on its own, or is there an extra step I would need to do?
No, it should save.
Okay, great. Thank you again.
You know what you can do to double check?
Yes.
If you click at the top where it says show only finished students, if you click that, you'll see the ones that you did.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a great evening.
You too.
You too. Anyone else?
Yes, I have a really quick question.
Go ahead.
It may sound very silly. I'm inputting my data, and when it says pronounce, that's actually meaning forming the letter sounds, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because I have Spanish speaking children, so when I ask them a letter, they're not saying the letter actually correctly, they're saying it differently. So I wanted to clarify that A is pronounced is A, not, so I just want to make sure. Pronounces the letter sounds. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Hi, Lizette and Kelly, how are you?
Hi, Ms. Mueller.
I'm still having trouble when I went to where Kelly told me to, to student item analysis. I can't even click on like where it's like nothing comes up at all.
Let me impersonate you.
Yeah, that would be wonderful because I did put a few QPAs in. That's not me.
Not Susan McElwain.
That's me. That's me. Diana's me. Yeah, I put a couple kids in.
Okay. Right. So look, show only finished students is checked. It looks like you've done all of these kids. These, correct. However many there are.
Right.
Okay. So now you want to go to student item analysis, you're saying?
Right. And I did that. And see, test title doesn't come up. I would think like you could
right,
click
you
on
have
that.
to choose it. Oh.
Yeah, see? That's where I got stuck. That's kind of where I was.
Yeah, you should have. Let me see. But it should drop down. You should have a drop down. Huh. Interesting. That's not the way it's supposed to work.
I'm glad it just wasn't me.
Nope, it's not you. So we'll have to figure that out. But I did say to the group earlier, I don't know if you heard, I got an email earlier that they've been having couple issues with Performance Matters and people's access to it. So things may not be loading the way they should load and would typically load. So that could be what we're experiencing here.
Okay, so
but
we
you're
can
absolutely
go ahead
right.
and put the data in and hope tomorrow maybe it'll work.
Right. It
Gotcha.
probably won't even
Thank
be
you.
tomorrow, just an hour or so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Because if you don't have any questions.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. I did try the show only finished students option and it says no data available in table. But when I click on the student's name, I can see where I entered the numeric number in the comment section.
Yeah. So something's up with Performance Matters. I'm going to try and impersonate you.
Okay.
Because that's basically when you agree, that's what you're agreeing to. Is this Rashida? Okay, so I'm logged in as you. And now we're just going to go straight to report. Yeah, it might be something up with this report that it's not working. Yeah, no, something's up. But when we go to Test Center And we say QPAA. Online scoring. Show only finished students. It looks like you did.
Oh, but it didn't show on my computer. Okay.
Right, but you did them all.
Every
So
last
you
one
put
of them. Yeah,
something in.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
you put something in for each one of them.
Okay.
Oh, and see here, see right here where it says see item for response?
Yeah.
So that means that you entered something. These where it says did not answer, you didn't enter anything.
So when you
Right.
say 1.2, that's the second portion of the test, correct?
Yes, I don't know. These are just the items. Yes, the skill set.
Okay.
That
So if
one
my
dash.
students, yes, they did not progress to the second because they were supposed to get over a certain amount. So if they did not progress or get half of my understanding, if they didn't get half of them, then that was to leave them at the previous level.
It's true, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm doing it
So you
correct.
wouldn't go to the second skill set, Ms. Robinson?
Okay, thank you. But what if they got enough, if they got over half of the first skill set, but under half of the second? Did you still want that information? I have it.
Yes.
Oh,
You would
still
put
want
it in the second skill set.
Okay, even if it's less than half?
It is.
Okay, no worries. I'll enter that as well.
Excuse me, so we didn't get a sign in today? We're not signing in, is that correct?
Well, you registering and being on, that's your attendance.
Okay, are we free to email you too with questions?
Yes, please do.
Okay, thank
Well,
you.
I'll say this, if it has anything to do with technology and performance matter, Kelly would be the one. But if you have any questions about quick phonics assessment or reading records, benchmark, you could definitely feel free to contact me.
Thank you, Ms. Coons.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I mean, I see that some of you with your video, you're typing, but because right now it's almost 3:20. So you have about 5 more minutes. If you have any, Karen D raised her hand. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, Kelly. It's Karen Delgado. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Karen?
Good, my friend. I miss you. I have a question about the general performance matters. When I go in there, I have a last year's group and this year's group. So I'm afraid to do anything with last year's group. It's like they've been assigned to a 4th grade teacher, but it also has my name. So
Right. Are you saying toggling here? Do you see where I'm toggling?
I'm saying when I go into Performance Matters and I get a listing of my students, it says I have 37 students. Some are now 4th graders and some are actually in my classroom.
Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. That's a Powerschool thing. Do you have okay. So I'm impersonating you. I'm gonna go to the dashboard and see what you're talking about. Let's get into the dashboard.
Ms. Criquet, my name is Sandy Souls. I'm also a teacher at Robbins with Karen Delgado. I'm having the same issue.
Okay, at Robbins School, is that what you said?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Karen beat me to it. I was going to bring it up.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Karen.
You're welcome. So yeah, Kelly, if
yeah,
you're looking
I
at
see.
my dashboard,
I see you
Mia
have
is
all 37. Yeah.
right. But if you click on, let's say, Mia Baldwin, she is a 4th grade student. You will see that she's assigned to a 4th grade student. I mean, a 4th grade teacher, Ann Grant, and she's also assigned to me.
Huh.
So I'm a little hesitant in doing anything with Performance Matters until
we resolve that.
Right.
Delgado and what was the other lady's name? Miss Souls, I thought.
Souls. And I think also we have another, it may be all the 4th grade, 3rd grade teachers here. It may be Jamie Sabbatics, and it may also be Jessica Gonzalez.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, so that for those teachers, let me do some research into Powerschool because.
Excuse me, please.
Sure.
Yes.
My name is Titilola Johnson. I think I have the same problem too.
I was in PJ Hills last year as an inclusion teacher, and they moved me to Martin Luther King this year for K-2. On my Power School, I don't have any student. On my QPA, when I opened it this afternoon, I have the list from the other school, PJ Hills. I don't have, for my new student, I don't have any name on my QPA.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That I have to fix that in Powerschool for you. 'Cause
Yes.
it's coming over wrong. This is helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Because Kel, I don't have the problem in Powerschool. When I pull up my class, I only have my students. It's just when I go into the Performance Matters, do I see, I have 37 students and some are assigned to fourth grade classes.